Hey guys, it's Kylie, and in today's video I'm going to go through all the different ways to display your Disney pins. So today I'm going to share with you how to display your Disney pins both at home and in the parks, and some of the different ideas I use and some of the ideas that I know other people use. I'm just going to go through the different ways that are best to display your pins so that you can see them, or other ways that you could possibly just store your Disney pins if you don't want to have them out on display. But if you guys are interested in more Disney videos just like this, definitely hit the subscribe button, turn the bell to get notified every time I upload. I post tons of Disney content on this channel. So I'm going to start off by going through all the different ways you can display your pins at home, and then I'm going to go through all the different ways you can display your pins in the park. And if you use any other method that I don't mention in this video, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear how everybody chooses to display their pins. So the first one is probably the most common way that people display their pins, and that is on cork boards. And there's multiple ways you can do that on cork boards. The first is just the big giant cork boards. But one thing I will mention about cork boards is there's a difference between hard cork and soft cork. You want to make sure you test the cork on a pin you're not afraid if it accidentally breaks or anything. Hard cork, you just have to be careful putting your pins in, as it can damage the backs of pins. Soft cork is definitely the way to go. You could also add a foam sheet to the front of your cork boards if you wanted to make them a little bit softer. I definitely will say the big cork boards I have are hard cork, and I'm definitely thinking about adding some sort of foam sheet to them, but currently those pins have been in there for so long that I have put them in and I don't really take them out that often, so that's why I leave them on that. I do like these soft cork boards better, and I have some of those that I use for smaller collections, and definitely think those are a much better way to go. It's definitely softer on the pins and much easier to take them in and out if you're trying to interchange your pins. Another way off of the traditional cork board that you can use, you can make shaped cork boards. So I like to buy small cork squares and turn them into shapes like Mickey Mouse. I definitely think this is a fun idea to add some more pizzazz. You can also get circle ones. You can get pre-shaped cork boards. So I would definitely recommend finding whatever shape you want. People make them online. You can also find a lot on Etsy. If there's a certain character, you can get like one that looks like Sully and you put your Monsters Inc. collection on it, or you could get one that looks like Mickey and put your Mickey collection. You can definitely do this in many different ways, but I definitely like these shaped cork boards. You can also put pins together in frame sets. You can do this in two ways. Some pins come in frame sets, so they're already in a frame, or you can make your own frame sets. You can get a shadow box and put pins in that. You can either add cork or some sort of foam board to a shadow box and put your pins in that. I know that's very common. I don't personally store my pins in frame sets, except for the few pins that have come in frame sets. I have a couple frame sets of pins that are meant to be together that I bought straight from Disney, so that's an option. Many people take, like, say the 12-month pin sets and will put those in a frame set so you can see them all together, which I think is an awesome idea, and I'm definitely thinking about doing that for my I Collect series that I recently completed and putting that in a nice shadow box, because I just think that's such a cool pin set, and that way you can keep it with their backer cards as well. You can also put pins on canvases. You could get a string and hang a canvas. I personally have the canvas from the 20-year pin event, and I have some pins on that, but many people take canvases. You just put a nail in the wall and you can hang that up, and you can put some different pin collections on canvases. And then you can also just store your Disney pins in binders if you don't want them out on display, and this is something you could pull out if you want to display them to somebody. I just think binders are an awesome way. I store a bunch of my collection in binders. I just find it's easier. It's not as much on display, but I do have all my binders set aside, so if I ever want to show some in my collection, I can just pull those out. You can also display your pins when you go to the parks, and there's a few different ways you can do this. One is you can get some sort of backpack from Kraken or from Pinfolio that has a clear front to it. They also have Eda bags that have the clear front to them. I would definitely check all of those out. There's awesome ones. I have a Pinfolio Show Pro along with a Pinfolio Show, which I like to put my pins on, so you can carry those around as like a backpack and everybody can see the pins on the front. I think this is a great way to display your pins. You can also display your pins on a lanyard in the parks if you're interested in wearing your pins around the parks, or they have jackets, or you can even get like a jean jacket or something and you can put pins on that. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to be putting them on a lanyard or a jacket, try some sort of locking back. That way none of them are falling off and you don't have to worry about any of the pins. And binders are another great way to display pins in the parks. I find using a binder for my traders is a great way to show them to everybody. You used to be able to lay them out at Epcot. This is great for pin events and stuff. You can bring binders and you can lay them out and you can display them in that way for people to be able to flip through the binders and see all the different pins you have. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if there's any other method you use to display your pins, or what your favorite method to use is. I definitely like these small shaped cork boards. That's where some of my favorite collections are on. That's what I have my sports collection on. I think the soft cork is definitely something I'm going to look into in the future when I expand my collection to more cork boards, is getting more of the soft cork. It's just so much better for the pins, or even trying to put some foam sheets on the harder cork so that it's softer on the pins when they initially go in and you don't have to worry about pin post breaking or anything, because I I've definitely had some bent pin posts because of the harder cork. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a like button. Subscribe if you want to see more Disney and Disney pin videos on this channel. If you have any questions about Disney pins, also leave those in the comments down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. And I will see you guys later.